Welcome back to the news at 10. On a programming note, Channels Television, in collaboration with the BBC, will be launching a new current affairs program called Gist Nigeria tomorrow, April the 17th, 2019. The studio-based show will focus on the stories behind the news, with original storytelling and audience interaction via at Gist Nigeria TV and its studios here in Lagos. The new co-production will air live every Wednesday on Channels Television for 30 minutes at 9 p.m. in Nigeria, and will also be available on Channels 24 in the UK via Sky 518. Again, in the UK via Sky 518, that's Channels 24. You can watch the program there. And here in Nigeria, it'll be at 9 p.m. and the show runs for 30 minutes. Gist Nigeria. Don't miss it. The All Progressives Congress has adopted Honorable Gbajabiamila as its candidate for the position of the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the 9th Assembly. This position was reached after an intensive deliberation with the APC's House of Representatives members-elect at a dinner with President Muhammadu Buhari at the banquet hall of the presidential villa. Confirming the candidacy in a communication to journalists, the APC National Publicity Secretary Lanre Isau Nilu says the Deputy Speaker position has been zoned to the North Central. According to the APC National Chairman Adams Oshomole, the All Progressives Congress is determined not to repeat what he describes as mistakes made in the 8th Assembly under a hostile leadership. He insists that the 9th Assembly should not entrust the leadership of critical committees to the opposition, but instead suggested that new members-elect can be chairman of such committees, that is. Adopting a winner-takes-all position, Mr. Oshomole says APC lawmakers have been asked not to share what belongs to the party. Now to some company news. Wema Bank is partnering with Mojek Meter Assets Management Company to provide retail financing for electricity consumers in acquired end-use meters. The partnership is aimed at accelerating closure of the metering gap in the power sector and to end estimated billing as directed by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, the NERC.
It's the flag off of the retail financing scheme, a step towards the commencement of the meter asset provision. And in this room, distribution companies, the regulatory body, and other key players are sharing ideas on how to kickstart the process they believe will provide quality service for electricity consumers in Nigeria.
70,000 meters have not vended in the last 6 to 12 months. That helps you to understand why. Like I said, MAP is not only good for the consumer, it's good for the disco.
With the rollout expected on May 1st, 2019, Mojek says the primary target is meeting the estimated 4.5 million metering gap in Nigeria.
Under this program, we're going fully electronic. And you may wonder, well, what happens in places where I don't know how to use electronic, right? Well, you will go into a bank premise, and at the bank, they will help you order the meter and then be able to make payment. But all of this will be electronic so that it's in a database somewhere, and the information, that is required, whether it's to survey you or to install you, will be captured.
With Wema Bank, it's going to be innovation. It's going to be innovation, and we are quite excited to be supporting Mojek in this project. We are going to use our creative solutions, and you should know that we are on the Alert platform to support this project, and then so ensure that customers get access to quick loans to support this initiative.
The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, believes eliminating estimated billing is good for the consumers and will mean revenue assurance for the discos.
The whole metering is supposed to be concluded within 3 years, the current metering gap within 3 years. Where a customer makes payment, meters will be installed within 10 days. Where a meter gets faulty, it should be replaced within 2 days. All those deadlines come with sanctions where they are not met.
Third parties will be financing the meters. Wema Bank is working with Mojek Meter Asset Management Company to speed up the full-scale implementation of the MAP scheme.
We believe this is a major opportunity for us as a bank, and in particular partnering with our customer, Mojek, to carry out this activity. For us, for our retail strategy, it's a That's a major thing for us because it's going to further improve our retail penetration.
With an MOU signed, Women Bank would also be working with 8 electricity companies covering about 20 states of the Federation.
Consumer health and hygiene company Gbajabiamila is partnering with the federal government and other stakeholders in the health sector to improve public health and sanitation in Nigeria. And to achieve this, the company has launched a campaign called Clean Naija in Lagos. The initiative is geared towards creating awareness and educating the public on ways to reduce the risk of preventable diseases like diarrhea.
Representatives of various public agencies, healthcare and environmental sanitation, brand ambassadors and business partners joined forces with Gbajabiamila to promote good hygiene.
We unveil the Clean Naija.
Through one of its leading brands, Dettol, the company begins a national campaign tagged Clean Naija. Healthy lives and happy homes, that's what the initiative is all about.
We feel this is an absolutely winning combination to drive awareness, education and habit change on a topic which is so urgent, close and necessary in this country: personal hygiene, health and wellness.
With the federal government backing through the Ministry of Water, the objectives of this project may get a headway.
We have a roadmap, and the roadmap says by 2025, Nigeria will be open defecation-free country. We want to keep to that. We want to ensure that by 2025, nobody defecate in the open in Nigeria. We cherish the partnership and we promise to fulfill all our obligations under the MOU that we have signed with you.
With personal hygiene habits like regular washing of hands, Gbajabiamila sent a clear message. Your health is in your hands.
A lot of babies are dying from diarrhea, cold, flu. These diseases, this can be prevented. These germs can be prevented. So why let them die? So I'm available to reach out to my fans, to educate them on this. A lot of people are ignorant about it. So I'm ready to talk to you so that Naija will go day clean and we go keep one hand clean at a time.
It's a multi-channel initiative which comes down to one-to-one education, but also on TV, on activations, further partnerships with the government. So we will reach people on various platforms.
These signatures by guests at the event is a pledge to take a stand in promoting good hygiene.
All right, let's take a look at some business news. Here's Kayode Okikiolu.
You first. First Bank.
Thank you, Ijoma, and you're welcome to Business News. Nigeria's headline inflation rate has eased for the third consecutive month to 11.25% in March. Well, that's on a year-on-year basis, down from 11.31% recorded in February. The latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that food inflation dropped to 13.45%, core inflation tapered to 9.5%, urban inflation rate increased by 11.54%, while the rural index slowed to 10.99%. However, on a month-on-month basis, the headline index increased by 0.79%, food inflation climbed to 0.88%, urban index rose by 0.81%, while rural inflation increased by 10.99% in March. The Bank of Industry has offered a loan of 3 billion naira to Jais Bank for onward disbursement to owners of small businesses across the country. At a meeting with officials of the bank in Abuja, its executive director in charge of SMEs, Mr. Umar Shekarau, explains that over 16 financial institutions, as well as 21 state governments, have benefited from its intervention, which is expected to peak at about 12 billion naira before the end of the second quarter in 2019.
We are in this partnership with 16 different financial institutions, and we've disbursed over 3.8 billion. With the 3 billion we are disbursing, to Jais Bank today, it means this project would have gone to 6.8 billion. We have also aligned 9 different financial institutions that we are also partnering with to disburse 5.1 billion between now and the end of this quarter. This will move our disbursement from 6.8 billion to about 12 billion. Okay.
And it's a quick, sharp rebound for the domestic stock market after Monday's 0.22% loss, as investors take position in key banking and consumer blue-chip stocks ahead of the first quarter earnings season. Chimeze Obiwagu has the details.
Thank you, Kayode. I'm glad you could join us on Stock Market Report. We saw some bargain hunting today at the market, which pushed the all-share index back into the green zone. The index is now at almost 30,000 mark, up 0.85%. It's also welcomed if you tie this positive performance to the lower inflation number released today, as that signaled some positive move in the overall economy. The renewed demand was felt mostly by the bellwethers in the banking sector, as we can see UBA and GT Bank on the top trades list. It's a similar picture on the sectoral chart, where the consumer goods followed the banking sector. Those two were the major market drivers today. Transaction volume improved from yesterday's close at 321.35 million shares. Same goes to the value traded, almost 5 billion naira in 2,979 deals. Analysts continue to guide investors to trade cautiously in the short term. However, stable macroeconomic fundamentals and compelling valuation remain supportive of recovery in the mid to long term. And that was the Stock Market Report. I'm Chimeze Obiwagu. Back to you, Kayode.
Thank you, Chimeze. It's also a positive close for most of the major global stock markets today, as investors monitored a fresh batch of corporate earnings and supportive U.S. economic data. Let's take a look at the figures. Thank you for watching Business News Tonight. I am Kayode Okikiolu. It's now back to you, Ejema.
You first. First Bank.
The memory of the abducted Chibok schoolgirls is also being kept alive in London, where a group of conveners gathered to mark the 5th anniversary. The campaigners are asking the federal government to expedite efforts to rescue the girls and ensure more protection for women and girls who are victims of gender-based violence in conflict areas.
I'm asking for their education to be prioritized and for their psychosocial well-being to also be seen as important. Plus, I think that having children, because these kids were young when they were abducted, as, inflicting conflict-based violence and gender-based violence on young women and children ought to stop.
The extent of the gendered violence, there's been so much violence against women in the Boko Haram conflict. Boko Haram has used the most number of women and girls as suicide bombers in the entire history of the world. In the last 7 years, we're talking of almost 400 women and girls, some as young as 7. So what we're talking about here is something that is critical. It's imperative that it's back on the world's agenda, and it's urgent as well.
On the news at 10, And coming next from our London bureau is Around the World in 5 minutes. Stay with me.